Welcome back everyone, this is GTA Failer. In this video we're going to be doing firefighter, a whole lot of firefighter. So you get into the fire truck, you hit numlock or the start mission button and you can see that there's a fire in Francis International Airport. You're given a certain amount of time based on how far away you are from where the fire is. There I was showing off that you can move the spray nozzle around by using the keys on your number pad. And the basic idea is you just head towards the dot that's on the map and put out the fire. And if you're a lunatic, you can run over a ton of people like I am here. The reason I'm running over these people is that, okay, so we put out one fire. You can see in the top right it says 1. We got time added to our clock. The next fire is in Wichita Gardens. But I'm running over people here because I want to show each of the fail states first before I actually show you my successful completion of firefighter. So just trying to get wanted stars because getting busted is one of the fail states of not just this mission, but every mission. And like I said in the first video, I'm not planning on getting busted in every mission, but I just want to show you that getting busted in firefighter is a very real concern because your fire truck is slow and has very low acceleration. So you may find yourself getting pulled out while you're stopped putting out a fire. So just kind of be careful as you are doing firefighter that you don't get into trouble with the police. So looking for some feedback from whoever watches this video because as I show you these failures, some on purpose, some not on purpose, should I be, oh here, if you just get out of the fire truck, the mission ends immediately. It doesn't say, you have 15 seconds to get back in the fire truck to continue. So should I just skip ahead to the next failure, like cut the video and then just show you the failures, or should I do what I'm doing here, which is put the video in quadruple speed until I get to the interesting part. So this one I'm demonstrating what happens if you run out of time. And so you can see the vehicle just blows up and you get this message, you're too late. Okay, so is quadruple speed good? Should I cut the video? I think I'm going to cut the video here in just a second. Yeah, like I just cut the video to get to the next interesting part. Let me know in the comments which one seems better for showing off the failures. This one I want to show you what happens if the car that's on fire gets damaged so much that it explodes. So here I'm trying to damage this car instead of putting out the fire. The fire truck is an absolute beast and can take a lot of punishment. I don't think I've ever damaged my fire truck so much that it blew up. So here you go. You get another "you're too late" message. Also, I caught on fire. The fire truck can blow up if it catches on fire or if it flips over. So that's what happens if the vehicle that's on fire gets damaged so much that it blows up itself. So that's another fail state. And here, looking to show off a different kind of fail state. And while I'm getting to the interesting part, I'll just talk a tiny bit more about firefighter in general. So each of the 3 islands has a fire station. The one that we're on now, this is the 3rd island. So here I'm back in regular speed because the failure is coming up. Let's see, so what's happening here? So I think it's around the bend. Actually, I think we're into the non-intentional failures here because I was trying to successfully complete firefighter here, and I've got plenty of time, and I think the car is on screen. So why did I fail here? Oh, that's why. Yeah, so here you can see I'm desperately trying to turn the wheels into the side of my truck that's on the ground to the left. Turning them to the right doesn't do anything. Turning to the left sometimes can get you back on the wheels. I'm also trying to go forward, backwards, anything to get back upright. So, like I said, the fire truck is a beast in terms of taking damage, but it will catch on fire if you land it on its side or on its roof. Okay, so this is me fast forwarding through another failed attempt, but I was trying to succeed. I don't remember why I failed this particular one. But like I said, let me know in the comments if I should just cut this part and just show you the failure, or if quadruple speed is good, or maybe a faster speed would be better until I get to the interesting part. I could do 8x speed or 16x speed or 32x speed for the non-interesting parts. Yeah, so as I was saying, there's I think I just drove right over that car. Okay, so there is a fire station on each island. On this 3rd island, it's over by the airport, which is where we started this video. On the second island, you'll find the fire station in the far northwest corner, not too far from the stadium, a little bit southwest of the stadium. That one I just ran out of time, and I don't know why I didn't show the video at regular speed. I'm brand new to video editing. This video right here is essentially the first, well, the last video is essentially the first one I've ever edited, so I'll get better at the video editing side of things. The fire station on the first island is also in the far north part. It's not too far from the like head radio building, I think, that real tall building there in Hepburn Heights. Um, and so you get in the fire truck and you start the mission. And the basic idea. All right, so the fact that we're in regular speed here gives me like heart palpitations because I know something bad's about to happen to me. Okay, so here, let's see. So we put this one out, no problem. I recorded this footage a few days ago before I'm doing this audio, so I don't remember exactly what went wrong here. So I've got a minute and a half, and it's in Wichita Gardens. I think I just went the wrong way. This is one of the difficulties with doing things on this third island, is that the island is kind of connected in funny ways, and the map there in the lower left-hand corner, you can't click on it to make it bigger, to expand it. And so you've got this really incomplete map information where you're just looking at a dot on the edge of a circle and trying to figure out exactly where that dot is. And it's possible to think the dot is in one area of the map, and it turns out it's in a different area of the map that's kind of hard to get to or time consuming to get to. I think that's what's happening here. Yeah, I think it's starting to dawn on me that the dot is actually, oh, look at that sick X Games grind. So I think it's dawning on me that the dot is not actually in this neighborhood, but it's across this river that's to our left. Yeah, I was hoping it was somewhere over here, but it's not. So there is a, yeah, so now finally we can see it on the map. So I would have had plenty of time to get there if I'd just gone directly there, but I just went the straight up wrong way. So I knew I wasn't going to make it at this point, but there is a way to get across the river without going on the roads, and that's to hop off this wall to our left. Oh, look at that sick, unique stunt jump. So we will do all the unique stunt jumps in another video before we do our next story mission. I'm just spraying the fire hose just for kicks. So we ran out of time, and let's see if we got credit for the unique jump. We did, unique stunt bonus, but we're going to lose credit because we're just going to reload. And fast forwarding means that I've got another unintentional failure coming up. This is what happens when you watch videos from GTA Failure. This is what the people want. All right, so what? I don't even know what happened there. I think I didn't have time to get across the river, so I just drove right in. All right, and this one is also in fast forward, so that means there's another failure coming up. All right, but I promise I do succeed. I will succeed in this mission. So here I took a little shortcut there. I don't know. I think there's probably shortcuts in this third island that I'm not using. I'm much more familiar with the first island, because the first island is where I do all of taxi, and the first island is where I do paramedic every time, and I don't do either of those things on the second or third island. Here's another shortcut. It's kind of risky. I nailed it here, but apparently failed for some other reason later on in this clip. Mr. Whoopi. Yeah, so what we need to do to pass firefighter to get the 100% completion in-game rating is you have to put out 20 fires on each of the 3 islands. 20 fires on each of the 3 islands. You don't need to do them consecutively. All right, what happened here? Is this... Oh, that worked, okay. That's another dicey shortcut. So I think the last edit or cut is coming up here, and I think I goofed in terms of the editing software. Let's see, so yeah, I got turned around here. All right, so now we're going in regular speed. Okay. Yeah, so I think the rest of this video is just going to be in regular speed. But I think I've got one more mission failure coming up. So yeah, sorry about that cut. I goofed a little bit with the editing software I'm learning. So, as I was saying, in order to get 100% completion, you need to complete firefighter, which means putting out 20 fires on each of the three islands. You don't need to put them out consecutively, which is quite lovely because putting out 20 consecutive fires on this island, anyway, is something that I found quite challenging to do, as you've seen by my numerous failures here. Um, oh, sorry, officer. So, why did I fail here? Do I get busted with that wanted star? Oh, I think it's dawning on me where this dot actually is, that it's down here. I had time. I didn't need to take this shortcut, but I had succeeded on this shortcut like just 2 fires ago. Ugh. Oh, painful to watch. Turning the wheels while they're up in the air makes no difference at all. So there I'm jiggling the camera out of frustration because it took a long time. You know, you watched a bunch of this in 4x speed, but I played it in real speed. Okay, so I think, spoilers, this is my successful attempt that we'll be watching here for the rest of this video. Okay, so as I was saying, you don't need to do all 20 fires in a row, and you don't even need to do like first the 20 on the first island, and then the 20 on the middle island, and the 20 here. You can do any fires in any order you want on any of the islands, as long as you do at least 20 on each of the islands. Then you will be eligible. You'll get the percentage. Oh my goodness, what am I doing here? Am I sure this is the success? You'll get the percentage for completing firefighter as soon as you've completed 20 fires on each of the three islands. So typically, when I'm playing this game for speed, what I would do is I would do the 20 fires in on the first island, but I would reject a bunch of the different destinations. I would just well, okay. So the main places that I accept here in on this third island are Pike Creek, the town that's behind us now. We just left it, and then Francis International Airport. And it gives me if it gives me a different fire location than one of those two places, I just pretty much immediately end firefighter, cancel firefighter with the numlock key, and then immediately restart firefighter with the numlock key. And if it gives me a bad destination, not one of those two destinations, then I'll just end firefighter and restart firefighter. What just happened there? I didn't even see it. Okay, so apparently that wasn't the success. Did I run out of time? I don't know. Too lazy to go back and look. Okay, this has got to be it, gang. We're gonna GTA succeed here. So typically I would just very greedily accept only locations that were quite near to me, and then just keep track of the 20 firefighters, 20 fires on a piece of paper. Because surprisingly, the game does not give you any indication that you have successfully completed 20 fires on the island that you're on. It doesn't say anything until you've put out the 60th fire, and then it gives you the reward, the announcement. All right, so here, so this is another unique jump here. It's not a great idea to take it with the fire truck or even the ambulance while you're doing paramedic, but I think that they just didn't give enough time. So here I'm jamming my wheels into the ground there by turning them to the right. I think that the time that they came up with has to do with like the straight line distance between you and the vehicle, but oftentimes you can't get there on roads like in a straight line, and so even though the straight line calculation is probably simple for the programmers to implement, it ends up being unfair in a map like it can be unfair in a map like this, where the roads, different areas of the island are kind of disconnected, and you can only get from point A to point B by taking a very long, circuitous, not straight line route. So sometimes it's unfair, and I think I did run out of time in a couple of my attempts here on this island. It's easier on the other islands because they're not disconnected like this one is. Okay, so I don't know why the game doesn't tell you when you've completed 20 fires on any particular island. So you kind of have to keep track. You can go into the stats menu of the game. It'll tell you how many fires you've successfully put out. But for sure, just in terms of staying organized, I would make sure that I did 20 fires on one island. You can check the stats menu to confirm, and then do 20 fires on the next island, and then check the stats menu looking for a total of 40 fires put out. And then you don't really need to keep track on the third island, because as soon as you get to 60, including the 20 on the third island, the game will pop up some message on a beeper in the top left corner. So I kind of wish that Rockstar programmers had given some indication as to um, whether or not, as to when you've put out the 20th fire on each island, so you don't have to kind of keep track of that thing on your own. It's a minor complaint. It's not that big a deal. Um, so, something. Um, so, as part of this true 100% plus series, I decided that I wanted to challenge myself to try to put out 20 fires in a row on this island, and then separately, 20 fires in a row on the second island and 20 fires in a row on the first island. And so this is something I'd never done before. And you saw a bunch of mission fails there earlier in this video. But eventually I got there, and this is the video where I think, or hopefully I got my 20 in a row on this island, and then I'll just start over and do 20 in a row on the middle island. But I appreciate that Rockstar, the programmers, didn't force you to do 20 in a row. You can just do one here and two there and one more and five more, just whatever you get, as long as you get to 20 cumulatively. This is different from the way Firefighter works in a lot of the other GTA games, and it's different from the way Paramedic works, for example, where you have to do all 12 levels of Paramedic consecutively in order to pass. You can't just save one patient here and save a couple patients there and then start over. So this seems like a good time for me to read a little bit about firefighters. So I'm reading from the wiki now while we watch this video. Okay, so from the wiki, the firefighter side mission is an optional vehicle mission that can be toggled on or off from within a fire truck in every 3D universe game and GTA Chinatown Wars. In GTA 3 and GTA Advance, each level consists of one burning vehicle which must be extinguished within the time limit. Starting with GTA Vice City, each level becomes more difficult as higher levels consist of one or more burning vehicles that may still be occupied and may drive around frantically, except in San Andreas where the vehicles are stationary, and all of those vehicles must be extinguished within the time limit. So like I was saying, I appreciate that you can just do one in a row here, and also that and that it's not a level thing, like 2 fires on the second level and 3 fires on the third level. Looks like I got turned around here for this particular destination. Okay, again, reading from the wiki. Even more problematic, once a burning vehicle containing passengers is extinguished, they will exit the vehicle and run in all directions while still burning. So that's, starting with Vice City. Therefore, the player must chase after the victims and extinguish them while being careful not to run over them with the fire truck, as it will result in mission failure. In some cases, burning passengers will run into water, saving the player the trouble of extinguishing them. I remember in Vice City there was one time where I sprayed somebody that was on fire, and they were quite close to the edge, and there was water on the other side, and I sprayed them and accidentally sprayed them over the edge, and they fell in the water, and I think that they instantly drowned before instantly having the fire put out. I think I failed because of that. Maybe I'm misremembering, but that's what I thought happened. Okay, so up to 9 fires put out of 20, so almost halfway there. Firefighter in this third island, anyway, I think becomes easier once you've got a few fires put out because now time is not as much of an issue. You just have to kind of bank enough time. But you could sort of get unlucky with the fire placements and the time bonuses early on because, again, I think that the program gives you a time bonus based on a straight line distance, and you might just get unlucky with that straight line distance not being close to the actual driving distance to get there. Okay, so halfway there, 10 out of 20 on this third island. Back to the wiki. In Chinatown Wars, along with putting out vehicle fires, the player also has added tasks of dealing with building fires and non-violently disrupting protests. I haven't seen that at all myself. In Vice City Stories, the mission is made slightly easier by allowing the player to continue if a burning victim is accidentally killed. The time limit will be reduced instead, and allowing the player to temporarily leave the fire truck when needed. The player must return to the fire truck within a time limit or else the mission fails. So I appreciate when the programmers put that kind of a, you can get out of the vehicle kind of thing without instantly failing. Like they did it in Vigilante in this game, GTA 3, where you get out of the police vehicle and you have something like I'm stuck here. Yeah, like I mentioned, just low acceleration for the fire truck. So in Vigilante here in GTA 3, if you get out of the police vehicle, it'll give you some message saying, hey, you have 60 seconds to get back into a police vehicle. So it's not instant failure. Whereas if you get out of the fire truck, it's instant failure. If you get out of the ambulance during paramedic, it's instant failure. Okay, reading from the wiki again. Completing the firefighter side mission will either give the player a flamethrower at the safe house or turn the protagonist fireproof. So in GTA 3, once we've completed our 60th fire, but again, it's got to be 20 on each of the islands, at least 20 on each island, we'll get a flamethrower delivered to hideouts. In Vice City, you become fireproof once you complete level 12 of firefighter. In GTA Advance, you get the flamethrower at your hideouts, I should say. In San Andreas, you become fireproof once you finish level 12. Same thing in Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories. Although in Vice City Stories, you got to get to level 15, and then finally in Chinatown Wars, you get fire immunity by dealing with 10 emergencies. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so those are the basics of fire truck or firefighter. So here we are at 13, cruising merrily along. So let me share a little bit more about the money that you get. So the amount of money you get is different in the different GTA games. So I'm just going to tell you the money you get for completing or putting out each fire here in GTA 3. So you get $250 for putting out the first fire, and then if you reset firefighter and start over, you get $250 for putting out the first fire again. So um, if you put out two fires in a row, the second fire will give you $500, and if you keep putting out fires, the third fire will give you $750. The fourth fire will give you $1,000. And so, as you work your way up, you just get 250 times the number of fires you've put out or you're putting out. So I've already put out 14. So as I get turned around here and get my bearings, I just have trouble with the map here on this third island. I wish that the map were clickable so that I could click on it and find out exactly where that dot is because I just went the wrong way. Um, Fortunately, we got lots of time. 2 minutes 40 seconds here is plenty of time to get anywhere on this map. But it is unfortunate that you can't click the map and figure out exactly where the fire is located. Okay, so this is our 15th fire. So for this, putting out the fire, we get 15 times 250, which apparently is 3,750 bucks. And so this is a firefighter is a nice early game way to get money, at least here in GTA 3, because it's pretty straightforward to do firefighter on the first island, Portland Island. Everything is connected. You just essentially head straight for the dot, and the roads will get you there pretty easily without backtracking or going the wrong way. And so, yeah, 250 times however many fires you put out, and it all adds up. So, if we successfully complete 20 fires in a row, then that 20th fire will give you $250 times 20, or $5,000. But that's just for putting out that one fire. You get, $4,750 for putting out the 19th fire, and so it all adds up. And so I've done the math here. If you do 20 fires in a row, altogether you will earn 52,500 bucks, which is quite a bunch. Money has never been an issue for me in GTA 3. In some of the other games, you really have to earn a lot of money kind of early in order to buy all the expensive safe houses and things like that. But anyway, a good way to make money early on. Okay, so we've got 17 out of 20 put out here, making good progress. And as we continue watching my massive success here in Firefighter on this third island, what else can we talk about here? Just looking at my notes, I wrote down a couple of bullet points because I knew this was going to be a long video. Okay, so this maybe is a good time to share my experiences with the GTA series. If you watched my my previous GTA 3 series or my GTA Vice City series. Some of this is going to be a repeat for you, but uh, I'm just going to share anyway. But also things are going to get kind of interesting here in this video in the next 2 or 3 fires. So maybe stick around even if you have heard these stories before. My first experiences with video games were on the NES. I'm old. And so I played a ton of NES games back when I was younger, and then I didn't really graduate to any of the other consoles. I had a Super Nintendo that I got very late in the SNES life cycle, and I had very few games for that. And then discovered the joys of emulation, and decided to start playing through all of the NES games, not just the ones that I had when I was a kid, but like all the NES games that I could get ROMs for, and surely I had those ROMs legally because I only got ROMs for the games that I owned a physical copy of. That's for all you lawyers listening. Okay, so there's Fire 19, and now Fire 20 is in Pike Creek. And as soon as I get Fire 20 done, we're done with the whatchamacallit, firefighter here in on this third island. Okay, so I'm looking at the map and I see the dot is behind me. So where am I going here? Interesting. Okay, so actually almost went towards this bridge here before I realized I needed to take the tunnel to get over to the second island. So what am I doing? I'm 1 fire away from success. Okay, so what I decided to do, and maybe you kind of figured this out here, is decided I was going to try to do not just 20 in a row on Shoreside and 20 in a row on Staunton and 20 in a row in Portland, but I was hoping to do these 20 in a row, the first 40 fires anyway, just in the same fire truck and continue so that I could see the number 40 up there next to the word fires, which I've never seen. I've never seen 20 before next to the word fires. Um, and so you might be asking, well, how are you going to put out the fire that's behind you, right? I'm leaving this island. So it turns out there's a glitch that you can use to trivialize Firefighter in GTA 3, and it has to do with replays. And so if you push F1, you will play a replay of like the last few seconds of gameplay. I don't really know how replays work. I barely use them. But anyway, if you play a replay for just a second or two here in GTA 3, it will put out the fire wherever the fire is. And so here I'm turning onto the second island, Staunton Island. And my plan, I've only got like a minute left here. I wasn't sure I'd have enough time built up on the clock, but I think we're just going to make it. So there you go. I'm now officially in Staunton Island. The fire is still on that third island that we just left. And I'm going to wait until I'm out of this tunnel, and then I'm going to play a replay. And that's going to, there's the replay right there. And that's going to put out the 20th fire. You can see the $5,000 reward. And now the 21st fire is in Aspatria, which is here on the second island, because that's where my fire truck is located. And so I'd never tried this before recording this video, and I wasn't sure where that 20th fire was going to count, because even though the 20th fire was on the third island, I was physically on the second island. And so I just didn't know how it was programmed. And in fact, I wouldn't learn how it was programmed until I finished, like all 60 fires, 20 on each island, to see whether or not I got the reward. So this is still a question in my mind, even at this point in playing through the game here. Did that 20th fire count on the third island, which is what I'm hoping, or did it count on the second island, which means I'll have to, at some point, go back to the third island and do one more fire. So yeah, that's the plan, is to try to get 40 in a row. Now, in order to get 60 in a row, we would somehow need to get this fire truck back to the first island, and that could be problematic, right? Because the tunnel connecting the first and second islands is closed. If you remember, we got to the second island illegally by hopping across a broken girder from that bridge explosion. And so we could hop back using that same technique from the one girder to the other. Actually, it might be quite a bit harder to hop back. But in any event, we can't hop with the fire truck. The fire truck will not make that jump with us. So we might have to settle for just trying the 40 in a row here, not the 60 in a row. We'll see what happens after we do our 20 fires here on this island. Okay, so coming back to my experiences with video games, so I played a bunch of NES ROMs, and then really no other video games until like I don't know, like 2012, something like that. And right around that year, I discovered I bought myself a Kindle Fire, which was a little tablet. I bought it for some productivity purposes and also some entertainment purposes. And then I don't even know how I discovered this, but I found that there was a GTA Vice City app that I could play on my Kindle Fire, and then like I didn't know I could do video games on the Kindle Fire, but anyway, I found the thing. It was on sale for I don't know, like $4.99 or something, and I had only like heard about these GTA games. I never played one before that Vice City game, and I knew about the controversies and things like that. Um, and just decided on a whim to buy this copy of Vice City on sale. And so I played it and just thought it was the funniest thing when like one of the other drivers cursed at me. Um, and so I kind of got sucked into to Vice City on the tablet, on the Kindle Fire. Played through it, got 100% completion by following a walkthrough from GameFAQs.com, and immediately started like another brand new game and got 100% again. I think I played it through 2 or 3 times at 100%. Had a blast. I did have some controller issues because it was a touchscreen, and some of the missions that were supposed to be pretty straightforward became very challenging because of the imprecise controls on any touchscreen. But anyway, after I had had my fill of Vice City, I found that whatchamacallit, San Andreas was also available, and I waited for a sale and bought that one for just a couple of dollars, and played through that a few times. And I thought that Vice City was like huge with this open world nonlinear concept, and then I get to San Andreas, which like dwarfs the size of Vice City. So I really enjoyed San Andreas, but again, did have some controller issues. Some of the missions became very challenging because because I didn't have precise control with either a controller or like I'm playing here with the keyboard and mouse. So then I played a little bit of GTA 4 on a PlayStation that I had borrowed from somebody. I enjoyed the game, but I didn't really have time in my life at that time to get very far in the game. I think I only got through like the first 5% of the game or something like that, following a 100% walkthrough. And then played some GTA 5 with a friend of mine who had a PS4. I think I don't remember what I just said about playing GTA 4, but it was on a PS2. I don't know if I said PS4. But played GTA 5 on a PS4 with a friend of mine. Probably completed like 45% of the game following a walkthrough, 100% walkthrough. So that was cool. And then, yeah, and then I got into GTA 3 here on Steam. It's really the first time I played GTA 3 was on Steam. I'll be right back. Okay, just had to close the window there. Somebody's doing stuff outside. Hopefully that didn't come off on the microphone. Um, yeah, so really my first experience with GTA 3 was on PC through Steam. Again, found GTA 3 and Vice City and San Andreas on sale, like a triple pack of those games. So and I really got, oh my goodness, I think I was looking for a shortcut there and found water. Um, so yeah, really got sucked into GTA 3, and GTA 3 is the game that I've played most out of all the Vice City games. I decided I wanted to not just beat the game at 100%, but try to get kind of faster at the game, and so I found somebody who played a glitchless, modless, no cheat playthrough of 100% completion of GTA 3, and I essentially copied their route and then started tweaking it to try to make it better for my play style. And yeah, I sucked a bunch of time into playing this game repeatedly 100%, trying to get faster at it. So I'm certainly not a talented speedrunner by any stretch of the imagination, but I do what I can and I have fun. So, boom, just blasted those two. The fire truck is just so heavy. It's great. So I ended up getting my fastest segmented runtime down to basically 9 hours even. I would typically play over like maybe 3 straight days, as opposed to one marathon session where I beat the whole game. So that's an unofficial 9 hour time because if you're gonna post to what is it, like speedrun.com, you got to do it straight through. Most of the time anyway, you got to play the whole game straight through. So I did set aside one day to play the whole game straight through, and I think I got like 9.5 hours or something like that. It was fine. I was right around rank 27 with that time. Um, I don't know if I'm still 27, or it's possible folks have leapfrogged ahead of me. For what it's worth, the world record, at least last time I checked, was something like 4 hours in this game. Um, and the people that can do this game in like half the time that I do. So number one, they're way better at this game than I am, and number two, a lot of them with the really fast times are using glitches, not cheats. You can't type in a cheat code, but just glitches. And so I'm not judging anybody that uses glitches, but I just decided that for my play style in the GTA 3 games, glitches were not really my thing. But for example, like using the replay to put out a fire instantly in this video, that's a glitch, and from my perspective anyway. And so that's something that a lot of folks take advantage of, and that's cool. But in my 9 hour time or my 9.5 hour time, I legitimately put out all 20 fires and didn't use any glitches to put the fires out instantly. So yeah, so tons of GTA 3, and then I got into Vice City, and I kind of expected that I would like Vice City even more. Like I love GTA 3; it's one of my favorite games of all time. Um, but kind of expected that I would fall in love with Vice City as well. But to be honest, it wasn't as good an experience as I thought it was going to be. I found that there were too many missions in Vice City that were either like too long or too boring, or too hard, too challenging, and I just ended up spending a lot of my time in Vice City doing things that weren't all that fun. So, for example, in GTA 3, you have to do for the taxi missions, you got to drop off 100 people. And you don't need to do them consecutively, just 100 on any island or on a combination of the three islands. And while I was doing taxi in GTA 3, while I was speedrunning, I would also be actively looking for a few of the rare cars for the import export cars side mission. And it would pretty consistently take me like an hour, 10 minutes to do both the 100 taxi drop offs and finding the four rare cars that I was looking for, and bringing those rare cars to the import export garage in Portland. And then I get to Vice City, and it's again 100 taxi drop offs, but I found the destinations were just so much farther apart. And so it took like an hour 40, or to do the 100 taxi drop offs. So about 30 minutes longer than it took in GTA 3. And I wasn't doing any import export like garage car hunting while I was just doing the 100 taxi drop offs. So if I was going to pick up, like four rare vehicles or whatever doing taxi in Vice City, would have taken even longer than an hour 40. That was just a long time to, not really be having such a great time. And like I said, I found some of the missions in Vice City to be too difficult, and I'm kind of looking my way for a shortcut. I haven't really taken this shortcut before because I've never tried to do 20 in a row here on Firefighter on this island. I have a couple of destinations in the southern part of this island that I would just go back and forth between the area that Kenji's Casino is in, and then is it Belleville? No, I think it's something else with the other town that's in the far south of this island. And if I got something that was in a different part of this island, I would just reject that fire placement, and start Firefighter over until I got 20 altogether. So yeah, so for example, in Vice City, there's like what is it called? The Cherry Poppers mission, where you got to deliver or drop off like 50 like ice cream deals, and it just takes so long and it's so boring. And in addition to being bored, I would sometimes get busted because I would kind of more greedily do those deals, even though I was getting higher and higher wanted levels, just because I wanted it to be behind me. So yeah, so there were just too many missions that I didn't like, either because they were too long or too hard or too boring. I really like the 80s Miami aesthetic, like all the neon colors in Vice City are awesome, and I'm a big fan of 80s music, so I really like that music. But I like the soundtrack, on the radio in Vice City better than I do in GTA 3. But GTA 3 gets the nod for me, even though some of it is kind of broken. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, up to 36 here. So again, looking to get to that magic number 40, and hopefully 20 of those 40 will be here on this island. And like I said, I still don't know whether that 20th fire counted for being done on the third island, the place we started this video on, or this second island here. And like I said, I won't know how it counts until I complete my 60th fire, and either I'll get that congratulations message, or I won't. And so I was hopeful that it would count for that the island we came from, but I wasn't sure. There was no way to know, and I didn't test it ahead of time because this took a long time to do all these fires here. Okay, so let me read a little bit more from the wiki here while we wrap up the fires on this second island. So here, reading from the wiki just about the very beginning of this game. Oh, actually, we'll come back to the wiki. So here's the 39th fire. And so the 40th fire is in Fort Staunton, which is in the far north of this island. It's over by the construction site. I'll point out something that's going to become important for us during paramedic, and that's that the Colombian cartel, that gang, which walks around the construction site, they hate us from the beginning of the game. They're going to shoot at us every time we are in their on their turf, and that is problematic during paramedic, because in paramedic you have to pick up patients and drop them off. Okay, so let me explain what's happening here. So I am headed towards that first island, and I am desperate to get this fire truck there. And so I just typed in a cheat code. I'm generally not going to be doing cheat codes, but in order to get this fire truck there, this was the only way I knew how to do it. So the first cheat code was real good handling, and the second cheat code is flying cars. And now I'm going to turn off the flying cars, which is going to get gravity to pull me right back down to Earth. And then I think I'm going to turn off yeah, you can see the handling here is crazy good. So I'm going to turn that handling off as well. So it says cheat activated. It really should say cheat deactivated, because I just turned off whatchamacallit, the crazy handling. And then I just used a replay, which put out the fire on the island we just left. And here I was like, oh, can I not make it through here? But we made it through. And so here we are back on the first island, Portland Island, and we got 40 fires put out. Now I'm pretty confident that no matter what, 20 of those fires are going to count for the middle island, right? Because I don't know where the 20th fire counted from, but whether it counted on the island we started on or it counted on the middle island, either way, I think that we've got credit for 20 fires on the middle island. The only question is, do we have 20 from the island we started this video on? Okay, so here we are with 19 more fires left to put out here on this first island. And then we're going to see, once we get the number 60 up there next to the word fires, we're going to see whether or not we get the congratulatory message. Yeah, but this was really the dream for me, trying to do something kind of interesting and complete for this true 100% plus series was to see the number 60 up there next to fires. And in my speedrun playthroughs, it'd be pretty rare for me to even get up to 5 in a row because, like I said, I would pretty greedily just take fires in a couple of nearby locations, so I wasn't traversing all up and down each of these islands. Okay, so let me read a little bit more from the wiki. This is just going to be kind of general information about the game. Okay, so coming back to the opening cutscene here, it says Claude is betrayed by his girlfriend Catalina when she shoots him during a bank heist, leaving him for dead. He survives and is arrested, but on the way to the penitentiary, the Colombian cartel ambushes the convoy to kidnap another prisoner. That was that elderly Oriental gentleman, I think he's referred to in the game, destroying the bridge in the process and isolating the island of Portland from other parts of Liberty City. And Claude and another prisoner named 8 Ball managed to escape. Okay, and so I'm not going to read about the gangs that we're going to befriend or betray on this first island here, but I'll just say that Portland has 22 story missions and 8 phone missions for a total of 30 missions on this first island here. And then moving on to the second island, again, I don't want to read about the, gang betrayals and gang helpings and stuff that we're going to do there, but I'll just say that Staunton Island has 26 story missions and 9 phone missions for a total of 35 missions. And then the final island, the Shoreside Vale, where we started this video. These boxes, I just hate these boxes in this little shortcut. Shoreside Vale has only one story mission. It's the final mission in the game anyway, the culminating mission. And as soon as you complete that story mission, that one mission in Shoreside Vale, then you get the ending credits. But you can continue playing the game even after you get those ending credits. And on that final island, there's a set of phone missions as well. 5 phone missions altogether. We talked about those 5 phone missions are responsible for the Purple Nines glitch. But we'll see them many videos from now. Okay, then there's other missions you got to complete as well if you want to get 100% completion, and we'll do all of these things in this video series. There are 4 off-road missions. Let's see here. 1 of them on this island, 2 of them on the middle island, and 1 of them on the final island, Shoreside Vale. Those are the off-road missions. And we'll do those before we do the next story mission in this video series, as they should all be available to us. There's also 4 remote control vehicle missions. Again, 1 on this island, 2 on the middle island, and 1 on the last island. And then you've got import-export garages. So we have 2 of those garages here on this island. One of them we completed already, which is pretty cool. And then the other one is the emergency vehicles. Oh wait, I said we completed it. We didn't. I completed it. I'm making these commentary videos after, several days after making the recording the gameplay that you're watching here. So I kind of forgot what I've already shown. So sorry. Import-export garage stuff is coming up. There's 2 such garages on this island. One with like regular vehicles and one with emergency vehicles. And then there's there's no garages on the second island, and there's 1 such garage on the third island. So those things are all coming. And then you've got these R3 missions, these really long ones. So right now we're doing firefighter, 20 fires on each island, 60 altogether. We still have to do paramedic. You can do it on any island. You don't need to do it repeatedly, just paramedic on any island for 100%. Taxi driver is 100 fares. You can do them on 1 island or a combination of the islands, doesn't matter. And then vigilante is, again, 20 things on each of the 3 islands. So you got to kill 60 criminals to complete vigilante. And then in addition to all the mission stuff that we just described, there's also packages to collect, 100 of them all together. And we'll be doing those. And then also unique stunt jumps. I think there's 20. And we got to do all those, so we'll do those as well. And I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that we missed for our 100% completion. Yeah, yeah. Oh, rampages. Forgot about those. 20 rampages. We'll be doing those as well before we do the next story mission in this video series. So that's the mandatory list, those things right there. And I have some ideas to try to make some of these tasks a little bit more interesting than the kind of standard completion methods of them. But if you have ideas for completing any of those missions or kind of side tasks, rampages, unique jumps, and interesting ways, do let me know. Um, and if you have suggestions for other tasks that I can do that are not required for 100% completion, but that kind of fit the general philosophy of this true 100% plus idea, put them in the comments. I'd love to hear your suggestions. Um, I'm certainly no expert in GTA 3, so some of these things that I'm stating as facts, I'm probably going to get some things wrong. So if I get something wrong, let me know, and I'll mention your correction, like in the next video that I record. Um, and again, much credit to the GTA speedrunner Joshimus, who came up with this idea. He did. I mentioned this in the first video, but it was kind of rushed, so tiny bit more detail. Joshimus is a British speedrunner of GTA, and I think some other games as well. And he had some world records. He might still have some world records. So quite a talented speedrunner, and he does lots of stuff on YouTube and on Twitch. So go check him out. And one of the things of his that I watched was his True 100% Plus video series on San Andreas, and I just thought it was a great idea, and I found it really entertaining. And I looked around for something similar for GTA 3, and I couldn't find anything that was sort of that same vein of like doing everything in the game, not just 100%, but everything. So I decided if I couldn't find it, then I should make it because maybe there'll be some other folks out there just like me who want more GTA 3 and really want to see everything. So, like I said in the first video, I emailed Josh, kind of asking his permission. I don't think I needed his permission. Like he mentioned, hey, I don't have a copyright on this idea or anything, but I just thought it was the right thing to do because I was going to be taking many of the ideas that Josh came up with and implementing them here in this GTA 3 True 100% Plus series. So, much credit to Josh for the idea. And again, his video series on San Andreas is going to be linked below. So just 7 fires left. And like I said before, I still don't know whether or not we're going to get that happy message after putting out the 60th fire. So we're definitely going to get 60 fires in a row. And we'll see that beautiful number 60 in the top right corner there next to fires in blue. But I don't know whether or not my plan is going to work here. I guess if it doesn't work, then I think I'll need to like use a cheat code to fly back over that bridge to get to the second island, and then take the tunnel to get to the third island, and just put out one more video. One more fire on that third island, and so that would get us to the ugly number 61 instead of the beautiful number 60. But I think that's all that it's going to take if we don't get the happy message after. I don't know where I'm going here. If we don't get the happy message after the 60th fire is put out. So if you've stuck it out with me here through this marathon video, I appreciate it. You can decide for yourself whether or not you think the 60th fire is going to be the last one we need to do. Did the game count that 20th fire as being from the island we started on or from the middle island? I really wasn't even sure what percentage chance I was giving to those two outcomes as I was recording this a few days back. But definitely let me hear from you if you have ideas for things that I should consider doing in this True 100% Plus video series. I'd love to have kind of an interactive comment section where we come up with a fun task list together. Okay, just 4 fires left, maybe a 5th one, depending on whether or not this is going to work. I'll say that when I do firefighter, as I'm playing this game for speed, when I'm doing firefighter here on this first island, I accept most of the fire locations, but I think I reject the ones in the far south. I don't know if Import Export Garage is a location, but I guess like the Callahan Bridge or the Atlantic Cays section. Like anything that's really far south, I think I typically skip. Sometimes I even skip Hepburn Heights, which is this northernmost place. I guess I take the central locations. Trenton, I would probably take depending on where I was. It's kind of south. It's maybe the furthest south I'd be willing to go if I were doing this for speed. Um, and if I get a location that's far from where I am, I'll just hit the numlock key twice in rapid succession. Um, once to cancel firefighter and once to restart firefighter, hoping to get a closer fire placement. So I would take St. Mark's, I would take Chinatown, I'd take the red light district, and then probably Trenton and Portland, and maybe reject the other locations. But not here. Here we're looking for the magic number 60. A minute ago, I was looking to the side, and I was trying to remember why I was looking to the side. I think what I was looking at was the damage to my fire truck. So, in I don't know where I'm going here. Yeah, I think I was pretty tired in this recording session by the time I got here, because I didn't just do 60 in a row. I also had a bunch of fails before I got my 60 in a row. I think I was spraying the water because I was irritated at myself for having made the wrong turn. Okay, so this is important here. So that's a Mr. Whoopee, which is required for the import-export garage. And so just make a note of where this thing is. It's here in the far south of the island, because I think I'm going to come back there and see if it's still there. Because if it's still there, then I'm just going to take it and immediately deposit it into the. There's another Mr. Whoopee there on the left. Deposit it into the import-export garage, because in my experience, the Mr. Whoopee is the rarest of the required import vehicles on this island. Okay, so yeah, thinking about damage. So I've read that as you go through these long missions like paramedic and maybe vigilante and firefighter, as you go through the different levels and do consecutive things in a row, your vehicle gets healed a little bit at the end of each of these levels. And I still am not 100% sure whether or not that's true in, like, paramedic and vigilante. But like I was looking to the side so that I could get a good view of the side of my fire truck, and it looks perfectly clean, pristine. It looks like not a scratch on it. I know I don't have my driver's side door, and they don't, like, the doors don't regenerate in this game. All right, so here's 60. Do we get the message? Yes, we do, gang. We did it. Flamethrower delivered. All right, so here I'm spraying everybody, so excited. Flamethrower to the hideout. Doing my happy fireman dance right here with the truck. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So indeed, the 20th fire counted on the first island we started at, and the 40th fire counted on the middle island, even though technically we were physically on this island when we used the replay glitch to put out that fire on the middle island. So excited to see that magic number 60. So I'm coming back here to see if the Mr. Whoopee is here. I think it was right here in front of us, and it's not here. So that's too bad. I was hoping to grab that Mr. Whoopee. So here I'm grinding against the wall, just trying to damage my fire truck. You could continue firefighter, it looks like, endlessly. But I'm just trying to damage my fire truck to see if I can see some damage, or is this thing now, like, essentially damage proof because I put out 60 fires in a row. And so I'm just going to smack into this thing head on. So the engine is smoking a little bit of white smoke. It doesn't look like it's in real big danger at this point, but just smacking into this thing, and I don't see a scratch. There's no driver's side door, but it sure seems like this fire truck is essentially damage proof because I've done so many fires in a row. Yeah, so that's it. 60 fires in a row. Pretty excited to see the flamethrower delivered message here. And I'm not sure what I was doing here. I guess I was just kind of wrapping things up. But I happened to run into I happened to see a vehicle that I was interested in. So we get out 457,500, flipping the camera around because I'm so excited. But a ton of money right there, almost $500,000 from putting out 60 fires in a row. So here I use my Quicksave program because normally you can't save here. And I was about to end the video when I heard one of my favorite jingles from this game, just with a passing vehicle behind me. And there it is. So we didn't get the Mr. Whoopee that was on fire, but we're trying to get this Mr. Whoopee here. Now I don't have infinite sprint yet, so sorry for the slow walk to try to get this thing. And there, I tried to grab it but ran into it. And then I get a little bit of a wider berth, and then boom, grab the Mr. Whoopi. Again, in my experience, this is the rarest vehicle that's required for this first import-export garage in Portland. And so I think I'm going to end this video before dropping it off, but just heading towards the import-export garage, which is the next task for us in our next video. So thank you so much for sticking with me in this marathon session. Really appreciate it. And any feedback you have for me, send it my way. Love to hear it. And thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.